I love that. It never gets old. Never gets old. Hey guys, alright, we are back in tunnel number 1. So have watched a lot of my videos, and they're more instructional type videos on how to get your ground prepped, landscaping fabric, irrigation, how to put a tunnel up, what it involves to do that tunnel. And that is awesome. I love doing that type of videos where you're actually getting something out of it. That's why I started this whole YouTube thing a couple years ago, was because I was looking for a piece of information for my farm and I couldn't find it. And what I did find was little bits and pieces here and there from multiple videos, and I kind of took that and a little bit of Google searches and I got my answer. And then I thought to myself, well, why can't I do videos that are very instructional, that are very to the farm kind of use-wise, stuff that I would get benefit from? And maybe that's why you're watching this series, or you're watching my other channel, or following me on Instagram, is because you get those little tidbits of information that you need to make you successful, or to make your farm successful. And here's another one of those things. It's not going to be instructional today. This is just going to be a follow Tracy around kind of day thing. I've got 3 or 4 things I want to get accomplished. You guys do know I got those tomatoes finally planted in the high tunnel up there. I have 3 of them that are on the wayside going down pretty quick. So, and that's transplant shock. That could be the transplants were not healthy enough. We had, we had 75-degree days with bluebird skies yesterday, and the high tunnel was over 90 degrees, even with the sides up. I can't stand there all day and baby these things. So the ones that aren't going to make it, I already have a 6-pack of transplants. I'm going to go through and replug those up. And then we got to do a little bit of watering. And here's my thing. Notice to my right, which is going to be your left, is this bed right here. And you guys watched me, maybe or maybe not, but I think it's been a month now. I put carrots in here. And I put 7 rows of carrots in here. And the germination has been spotty at best, which is, I don't think it's the seed, because going from fall into winter last year, I used the same exact seeds. And I had a row of carrots over here, and literally I had more carrots than we could. There was no weeds in the bed. The carrots were just amazing. I did notice, I did use some of the compost that we bought, and I think there was some weed seed in it that wasn't finished off. That's you're kind of have to get that from municipality kind of style compost places, and that's where we get ours from. Is the local municipality in the next town over actually has a company come in and do compost on the spot. You don't know if you're going to get some weeds thrown in there, which is fine to compost, but if some of them are already gone to seed, you're getting dormant seeds in there, and you guys know what that takes. But I do have a lot of these little weeds, and I don't know what they are. I'm not a weed connoisseur, but I don't know what type of weeds these are. But they're small enough I can go through and pull these out. But the thing is I'm getting them everywhere now where I put that new compost in these beds. Even here in my little lettuce things, my little wildfire mix. You can see I get this. I don't know what that is. And I would almost say it's got to be some type of lettuce. But here's my thing. It's growing in multiple beds. It's growing in multiple beds. So I would say it's not the wildfire lettuce mix. But here's where you got to make, as a market farmer, you've got to make tough choices here. Like I said, you can see these carrots are up. The germination rate's probably 75% at best, and I need it to be closer to at least 95%, 90 to 95, and that may or may not be possible. But it's taking up valuable real estate. It's a fast turnover tunnel with salanova and spinach and head lettuce and wildfire mix and radishes and stuff. That's all fast turnover. That's where you make your money, is your fast turnover. I don't know if I'm willing to keep these carrots in this bed or not. I'm thinking about taking the flame weeder and just weeding these off to the ground and maybe throwing a tarp on it for a couple weeks here in the sun, and then going back through here and maybe restarting another row of carrots, or possibly some more wildfire mix or something like that. Because the sparseness, let me take you guys off the stand here and I'll show you. As you can see, guys, the sparseness of these carrots here are terrible. I mean, yeah, I've got a little bit of weed seed in there, and that really doesn't bug me as much as the sparseness of this carrot seed. And you know, I put 7 rows in here with the Jang, and I know it's not the cedar because I've used it on everything else this year. And I know it's not the seed because I've used that seed before. And I store all my seeds in the refrigerator. And so I don't, and by a reputable seed company where I get my seeds from, I don't think it's the seed. Because if I flip the camera the other direction, I can actually see 7 rows of carrots where I can't see 7 rows of carrots here. So now I'm at that crossroads where I've got this conundrum. To burn or not to burn? I think what I may do is I'm looking at that other bed behind you and I'm thinking, oh my Lord, do I really want to get rid of that? I think what I may do is go ahead and where the camera is sitting is make an invisible line there. Keep the carrots going that direction, which is probably, I don't know, probably 25 feet of carrots. And the other 40 feet going this way, possibly go ahead and get the torch out and burn the tips of these, and then cover it for a week or so, and then maybe come through and put something else in here, maybe Salanova, or even I could even seed some more carrots. It's not that big of a deal. But this is the thing that I wanted to kind of show you guys about market gardening, is the stuff you don't see when you watch the cool videos or watch the cool Instagram farms and all that kind of stuff like that, is the bad, you know, I mean, bad germination. You know, ultimately, you know, if I was a home gardener, this probably wouldn't bother me that much. I'd probably just wait, weed what I could, and then picked out the carrots. But, you know, I've got to make, these carrots are making me money. I have to sell these carrots to provide food for people's tables. And so am I willing to wait another 2 months to pull out 15, 20 dozen carrots? Or do I go ahead and lick my wounds and cut my budget now and just kill this out and then put something in that's going to grow in 30 days and triple that money? I think you know where I'm going here. Sometimes you got to make the tough choices, and today I think we're going to make a tough choice. I love that. It never gets old. Never gets old. We got them burned, guys. You ultimately, whoo, it's hot in here now. I got the sides down because we got some high winds. I'm going to have to open it up. Oh, it's hot in here. But you ultimately just have to kind of just tickle those plants. Just a little tickle here, a little tickle there. You don't want to, definitely don't want to light your mulched wood walkway up. Just come through and just lightly tickle that. And what it'll do, any weeds, any seeds that are at the top, carrots are going to be considered a weed here, but they will die. That's all you got to do, is just tickle them enough to break that cycle in there. Their cells, it explodes their cells up, and then they will die. So what I do is I'll just let this sit for a day, a couple days, maybe Monday. Being a market farmer is pretty exciting here, just like being in Hollywood, I guess, or maybe being an influencer or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know nothing about any of that. But anyway, guys, I've got some work to do on those beds out there. I'll go ahead and film that. You know that we put that landscaping fabric in there, burned those holes, got our tomatoes and pepper plants planted in yesterday. Everything is great there. But I wanted to show you a part of the farm that I don't really talk about that much. We always talk about growing in high tunnels and what it takes to grow in high tunnels and materials and products that we use to be successful in our market garden in the area here, that's a 30 by 65, that is my outside area. So cucumbers will be out here. Some of the hot peppers we have are Carolina Reapers, jalapenos, habaneros, stuff like that. But I just wanted to show you about occultation. You know, we talked about occultation in that other high tunnel. If you guys are the first time watching this video or not familiar with what occultation is, it's basically just tarping the ground to kill off the weed seed bank, keep the moisture in the ground while you're not growing into it. You never want to leave ground dry. You always want to at least cover it or grow something on it. This section here used to be my very first market beds. I had 7 65-foot market beds in here. I raised on it for a year, got a hold of some bad compost, and everything went south from there. So what I decided to do was I went ahead and tilled up those beds, added more amendments and compost to this ground here. We'll get in with that a little bit later. And I covered this with silage tarps. This right now is 10 months of being covered in silage tarps. Get the microbiology and the good bacteria and stuff back into this soil. And I think I've succeeded, but I'm not sure yet. But we're gonna add some good compost, some good fertilizers to it. And we're gonna see if we can get this back to par where it needs to be. But I'm about to pull this tarp off. I've got all my, I've got the first set of tarps off. I'm gonna pull this tarp off. I just thought maybe you guys would wanna check it out and take a sneak peek. When I started this about an hour ago, it was dead quiet. There was no wind. That's the only reason why I started doing this, because it was no wind. We've got some storms coming in, so if you wonder why it's a little bit windy and how the stuff's moving around, it's because I think we've got various thunderstorms all day. I only got one more piece to get off. Okay, you can see it looks really good. You can see where that first part was really dry. You can see where the water comes down here. But besides a little bit of mice or vole holes, which I have moles, as you can see in my yard here, there's really no good ways of getting rid of them. I don't want to add any type of poisons or anything, since I'm trying to be sustainable as much as possible in my growing. So I really honestly don't want to add any types of chemicals or anything to kill these guys off. I just try to push them out if I can. But soil looks really good. You can see some of my wood chip walkways there. You can kind of see the beds. I kind of rototilled this in, I think it was August of last year, so it's been, I think, 10 months now, if my country math is right. But anyway, guys, the soil looks really good. You can see, look at this. I can dig down with my hand. Holds together good, has good clumping abilities, has, I think, just the right amount of sand and just the right amount of clay in my soil. And then compost added to it as we rototilled that in. So I think we got this thing licked. I would say everything looks good. So what I've got to do is I'm gonna go through here and pull out any rocks or anything. There's a piece of concrete block over there. It looks like it got blown under one of these tarps in one of the storms we've had. I'm gonna get this area all tilled up and then add some more amendments, till that in, let it sit for 3 or 4 days, and then I'm gonna start putting landscaping fabric on it. I'm not gonna burn the holes in it. I'm just gonna cover it with landscaping fabric to make my beds out and make my walkways. And then when it's time that we can safely plant outside of a high tunnel here in northeast Kansas, which is probably going to be about the middle of May, I'll be able to get my peppers and stuff in the ground. But until then, guys, I just thought I'd add this little piece to that high tunnel, talking about the mulch and stuff. But like I said, guys, get on it. It's that time of year. And oh yeah, by the way, get out and grow something. Bye.